G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. We are here on the brand new expansion with an absolutely beautiful matchup today. In the north of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Order of the Dragon, it's Vortex. And on the south side of the map in the colour yellow, playing as the Japanese, it's Lucifron 7. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not just your ordinary day-to-day. This is a tournament game of some sort. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, there are so many tournaments that are going on at the moment, I don't actually know where this game has come from. So if you do know, please write it down in the comments and I'll make sure I update the description of the game. But how are you guys all doing? Are you enjoying Age of Empires 4? I know I am. If you are as well, please leave a like on the video. It really helps out with the growth of the channel and the traction of these videos. But let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on down over here already. Lucifron opening us up with a classic opening already. I tell you what, this build order is taken off so much. It looks a little bit different to the one I'm familiar with. The 5th villager is out over on stone quite early on here, but you know what? I'll accept it. I think this is still a pretty damn fancy build order. For anybody unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, this is the new boy in town right here. This is the new build order for the Japanese. He's going to be looking for a second town center early on in this game. I'm curious what the follow-up's going to be here, because he's playing up against Order of the Dragon, a civilization that loves... Well, I mean, we don't really know much about this, but I would suspect it loves to get to castle. Its variant civilization, the Holy Roman Empire, loves to get to castle, so I would assume Vortex is going to want to do the same thing. So, I'm curious whether he looks to go into something like a 2-town center fast castle. That could be an option for him. You could also look to play into Bagatia. The problem is going to be that if you do go into like a 2-town center and then drop the barracks, go castle age for Bagatia, you're going to be up against the Order of the Dragon Gilded Knights. And that's my biggest fear, is I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get destroyed. It's not even going to be close. I'm not going to be doing any damage to these units at all. Is there really even any point in me trying to contest relics? Because that is one of the ways that you as the Japanese can contest civilizations that like to go for early relics. If you're playing up against Juicy's Legacy, as an example, you can always wall out this relic and then bring your Honor Bagatias over towards this northern side and then look to contest the relic there with those, because they're very quick, nimble little units and great at picking off things like prelates or monks. But Age Up now coming through, and have a look at this. We've got ourselves an Ark and Chapel coming down. I tell you what, I'm almost recoiling at the thought of having to go for the Ark and Chapel, but I guess Vortex, look, at the end of the day, he's one of the best players in the world. If he thinks it's good enough, I'll accept it. But I guess that says a lot about the mine work, right? If this landmark's giving you a 10% gather rate, that's it, and it's in this AoE and that's it, and you compare it to the Holy Roman Empire one, which gives 40%. Is it 40%? I think it's 40%. I think that says a lot about the strength of this landmark, and more so about the strength of the mine work. But anyway, let's check in over on that south side, as Vortex is now beginning to look at that age up. He's collected 206 gold passively through that stone, and he's already gone for the Daimyo Manor. What's interesting here is he's keeping these villagers on stone. Now, by keeping them on stone, there's a little bit of an interesting dynamic, and I'll do my best to explain it here. You can actually see how late this age up's going to be. I think our normal age up time somewhere around the 3:20 mark, somewhere around that mark. It's not that late, actually. I take it back. Kura Storehouse going to be coming down. You can see he's dropping down the lumber camp as well. Age up's already through from Vortex. Jeez, that's an early age up, isn't it? We've got quite a few villagers here. Is he? Yeah, he's going for a second TC. Okay, so it looks like both players will be going for that secondary town center. Of course, Vortex yet to scout out what his brother is up to, which I'm not sure if I mentioned that yet. These two are brothers, very, very good brothers. Very good at Age of Empires 4 brothers, I should say. Not, you know, whether they're good brothers or not, I don't know. But both very good at Age of Empires 4. Anyway, let's check in with Lucifron though, because one of the interesting things here is he's gone to go for the Daimyo Manor. It means he's going to have to gather a little bit more stone. So you can see now he's got 366 stone in the bank. But because of that, he's now got extra gold. And so I was always throwing up the question, you know, where do you want to pull off on stone? Because then that's going to affect your gold. So I was thinking, you know, maybe is there a chance that you want to go for Tawara early on? It's 50 gold. You've got 33. But then it turns out that it's actually, I think it works out to be like 100 more stone. It's just not worth it. So what Lucifron has done here, I guess, would be the most greedy possible opening. I'm curious to see what his town center timing will be, because, I mean, if you haven't already seen it, I did recently drop a video just featuring Vortex's build order where he went for that early, second town center. He normally hits at about 5 minutes and 5 seconds, somewhere around that time. So that's what we aim for as well. But you can see Lucifron here might be a little bit after that. The age up's still taking quite some time, but I'm a little bit confused why you'd go for this over just going for it the other way, because now all of a sudden you've missed out on a villager, because normally you're dropping it down at say 505, whatever it is, 510. Even then, you know, we're still quite a little bit away off that second TC, but the age up does come through. 5 minutes 20 here. He does have the daimyo meta unlocked, but once again, there's nothing really that stands out to me as saying like this is a great reason to be doing this. But we do now start to see 11 villagers moving out to the center of the map. Look how aggressive this town center is. I love this. He just knows exactly how far he can push his luck, and I guess he can suspect from his brother going also into that second town center that, you know what, he's not going to be pressuring me too hard early on. I don't need to be too worried about how it goes down, but we'll check in back at home. One of the advantages of having this daimyo mana already is that you're going to be able to boost up the gather rate on your farms, but do note, this early on, you've only got the one farm, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense at this stage of the game, but have a look at this. We've got the stable beginning to come up. Could this be the reason why he was moving into the daimyo mana first over the second town center? Because he's looking to get out a bannerman, but even then, still yet to gather up all those resources. I'm really trying to math it out right now in my head and understand these decisions, because you got to remember these guys are incredibly good, best in the business when it comes to this, and they've thought about it all before. So it's sort of like interviewing them without actually speaking to them. You're trying to understand what are the decisions and why are the decisions. Those are the important questions. All right, so we'll check in once again with Lucifron. He's added in that additional farm. Remember, these bad boys right here come in every 45 seconds. He's just going to move over the villager from wood slowly but steadily. And we do now start to see that third farm getting thrown down. So expect him to continue adding in more villagers. And back towards the town center, you can see he's got a beautiful ring of villagers here. Has he picked up survival techniques just yet? It doesn't look like it. But we do now start to see the Bannerman is in queue. This unit is like a knight, but for the Japanese. It's a very, very powerful. If I remember correctly, it's actually got the same stats health-wise as a veteran knight. So it's a pretty tanky unit. One thing to note, though, is it's got this deflective armor, unique to the Japanese. It's going to be deflecting any attacks towards it, at least in that initial frame that it fires. But now beginning to move in. He's looking for villagers. Obviously aware of exactly where his brother's villagers are. We don't see any villagers at the moment on that berry bush, and this is going to actually be spotted out by the outpost. The outpost will well and truly see it, and he knows exactly what he's up to. So giving him a little bit of a heads up here. I don't really like this kind of play, but I guess he's just going to run in there and try and call some idle time. He's going to manage to find a hit there. Villagers now going to have to make a bit of a run for it. You can see, is he trying to fight against it? He's going to do a little bit of a trickle them into the outpost, getting some decent damage there, and I feel like he almost baited him in that regard. That was quite smart there by Vortex. Gets quite a bit of damage on the Bannerman, but expect him to come back around soon. Probably going to throw... Oh, there we go. Already got the walls coming up. This is exactly what we're talking about. You know, when you are playing up against a civilization that loves to go for early relics, it's imperative that you throw down these walls like this, prevent your enemy from getting in. We'll need to call that scout back over towards this side so it can begin doing its magic, and you can see he's just walling up every single relic on his side of the map. A really smart move here by Lucifron. Let's check in with how he's doing as the farms are going down already here for Vortex. These are quite early farms, a pretty decent timed farm transition here. Normally you wouldn't expect to see this, but I guess having the Ark in here somewhat motivates him to do it. A little bit of idle time here. Whoa, 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 whoa. A little bit of idle time right here. What's going on? I thought this was a professional match. What's going on, fellas? There they are. No, there they are, dropping off now. But age up's due to come through shortly, and there's that horseman now that has miraculously come out to finish this wall. And can I just remark on how early Lucifron is with these walls? So often I'm going to wall these relics in, and my villagers getting out there, like, they age up to castle age, and I'm like, oh, I should go wall the relics. Whereas Lucifron's got that much foresight, where he's like, you know what? My enemy, probably going to go to castle age. You know what I'm going to do? Wall them in. How much wood does it actually cost? If each wall is 7... If each wall is 7, and there's 8 of them, we're talking, what, 56 wood? If my maths is correct. So that's not a bad amount of wood when you think about it. Like, realistically, it's an investment, but it makes sense if you can deny your enemy picking up those relics. And speaking of picking up relics, I'm curious to see which landmark Vortex goes for here, because he's about to click up a little bit behind on the upgrades. In fact, just clicks horticulture when he could have actually dropped the age up down, sped up that age up quite a bit, because he's got the 10 villagers here. One of the things I always caution people about when I'm coaching is that if you're very close to upgrading, or sorry, to aging up, we want to avoid spending the resource that we need at that time, or that we're waiting on at that time. But got that new landmark coming through. It's going to be the Regnitz and 2 stables thrown down immediately next to it. But already that castle age comes through at a 10-minute timing, and gosh, what a good timing that is. That is a ludicrously good timing here for the Japanese. Has he got Tawara? Oh, no, okay. So he's got Tawara, but no, he doesn't even have Tawara. Okay, so he's only just picking up these now. Looks like he's thrown the first Yorishiro into the stable. That means he's going to have a reduced training time on these mounted samurais, down from, what is it, 36 seconds down to 12 seconds. Second one's picked up. He's going to throw it in the farmhouse of all things. So a little bit of passive food now going to be coming in instead of going for something like gold. I guess early on it does make sense, right? It's one less farm that he needs to transition into, or technically it's probably closer to 2. Now the mounted samurai coming out, looking to head towards that north side of the map. He could look to put on pressure here. He's up against hardened units. Keep that in mind, or rather, I should say gilded units, not hardened. I mean, I'm sure they're pretty hard, though. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, we move on. We move forward, because upgrades are starting to come through for Lucifron right now. Double Broadaxe, followed by that Takazaiku upgrade. That's going to be your 2nd level wheelbarrow here for the Japanese. Does now have access to the 3rd level as well. A little bit more expensive, though. That's the one thing to note. Oh my god, did you see the amount of damage on that poor little scout? Jeez, you almost got one shot there by these spears. I'd be very hesitant about going into this. You're asking for trouble if you're coming through here. Prelate now beginning to move out. Relic over towards that east side is still safe here. And the mounted samurai looking to try and come underneath the town center, copping a couple of hits here. Does have that deflective armor. And now the charge comes in. It looks like connection's going to be made. Not paying attention, but one of the villagers does go down. Very well picked up there. At the same time towards the north side, it looks like the prelate's not going to be able to come out. Lucifron deleting a lumber camp? No, what did he delete? He deleted something. I heard it. I'm hearing it. It might be walls. Scout coming in on that backside, just looking for it. He's deleting the walls because he's picking up the relics. Have a look at this. That's 2 of the relics now. Denied away from his brother. Mounted Samurai doing a nice little job cleaning up here. And the Mounted Samurai have such a great matchup here into the Gilded Knight. Let's just talk about this for a little bit. The Gilded Knight does a lot of attack because it's a unit ×2. The problem is, oh my god, did it just attack through the I swear I just saw it. Has it got a double attack or something? It's like, it's doing, what is it doing? But essentially this unit, it's got one big attack and you can block one attack. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is, you block it. You guys see where I'm getting with this, right? A whole bunch of attack, whereas these guys are blocking that big attack. So that's important to note. But have a look at the Gilded Knight, just absolutely cleaning house here. Does so much, yeah, it is doing damage on that first strike. So it looks like it can only block a specific amount of damage. You know, I wish that this kind of stuff was in the UI. You know, like, I remember when I was making the video for the Juicy Legacy, and I was telling people about the 10,000 bolts upgrade, and I'm like, it doubles your damage. It's insane. It doesn't double your damage, though. It doubles the amount of bolts that you fire in the crossbow, and then reduces the second bolt's damage by 50%. Yeah, you can't be doing me like that. That's important information. We gotta know that kind of stuff. Anyway. Mounted Samurai numbers really starting to build here. Interesting to see the presence of cavalry out here, but this is taking me back to the Chinese versus English matchup, because the exact same thing would happen in that matchup back in the day. I remember playing Hillendale plenty, and up against the English, it's always the same old deal. 2 town centers or 3 town centers into a fast castle, followed up with collecting the relics and a lot of knights on the map. The knights are designed to gain control of those relics where possible, but obviously when you're denying out relics like this, definitely makes for a bit of an easy collection period. But we do see up towards that northwest corner. Does Lucifron know about? Lucifron didn't know. Ooh, it was right on the map. I don't know whether he's seen it or not, but I'm curious that he didn't have his units over there looking to deny that relic. I suspect he probably didn't. It didn't come up on the map for him. He can definitely see it, but you know, people don't go through and look for it physically. They normally refer to the minimap, and I suspect he just didn't find that last relic. Let's check in now. Back home. Yorishiro's coming down. Archery rangers. Look at the spam coming through. Jeez Louise. Just when we were talking about the Yumi Ashigaru, it's not really relevant in the feudal age if you don't open with it. Oh, I take that back. It's not really relevant in the feudal age if you're going ham on infantry, because you've got samurais and you've got Onobageisha that can do the job. But I think here, after opening into the mounted samurai, it really makes sense following up with the Yumi Ashigaru. And I'm suspecting he's probably going to look to mix in some of the Onabusa, I want to say Onabusa? Onamusha. Almost had it. All right. Cavalry numbers starting to look good now for Lucifron. Have a look at the population difference between these two, though. I tell you what, that's a little bit scary. 38 military pop against 16 military pop, but I guess these bad boys right here, I mean, let me just double check. Yeah, they're boys. All right, these bad boys right here, these are still pretty good for the price that you're paying or for the population that you're taking. So I'd definitely be excited with that. Let's see if we can spot out any more of those Yoroshiros. There's the next one. He throws it in the forge. Definitely the right decision. I love throwing them in the forge. Gives you that extra 75 gold every minute. Loving it so far, but didn't opt to throw them in the town centers. So we've seen Vortex throw the Yoroshiros into the town centers immediately upon age up. Little bit of a different approach here from Lucifron. So you can see we do have the difference in opinion when it comes to the best way to play the Japanese. So I guess it could be something that's matchup dependent, map dependent, all that kind of shenanigan or what was I going to say? Pajaz? I don't know where I was going. Anyway, he's going to need to bring these cavalry units back. Speaking of which, there's not that many left. Never mind, there they all are. He's going to need to run screens here for these Gilded Knights. Hopefully he's got enough archers to take out the spearmen. The issue is going to be that these are very strong spearmen, and the Yumi Ashigaru aren't the strongest either. We're going to head into the cinematic mode. 31 versus 48 when it comes to the military pop. Currently in favor of our blue player. Let's see exactly how that attack is going to go, though. Looks like he's going to be chased away here. The prelate did manage to did not manage to capture that sacred site in the middle. Has been held at the moment by the Shinto priest, I want to say. Is it a Shinto priest? Let's double check and see. It's a Shinto priest. Shinto priest. Has been held by the Shinto priest. All right, so 3 relics against 2. Definitely not the best outcome for you as a Bigger Chad enjoyer. Obviously, we've got the Giga Chads, the Holy Roman Empire, the Bigger Chads, because everything's bigger. That's their variant, the Order of the Dragon. And it's just easier to say that. Like, actually, I've got a question for you. If you can answer this, please write it in the comments. What should we call this civilization? Now that this is the name and it's sticking, you know, we didn't get Teutons. We didn't get something easy. It's Order of the Dragon. I don't want to be putting Order of the Dragon on my thumbnails. It's so long. What do we call these guys? Because we can go with Bigger Chads, but not everybody's going to get that. Do we call them like OOTD? I don't even like that realistically. Like, what do you, if you got an idea, let me know. I mean, do we just call them the Dragons? In Australia, we've got a team. They're called the Dragons, the St. George Illawarra Dragons, if I remember correctly. Hopefully I'm remembering correctly. That's going to be embarrassing to all my fellow Aussies out there. Yeah, St. George Illawarra, the Dragons. Yeah, that's Phil's team, dude. Phil, my best mate. That's his team. Hopefully they're not doing well this season, because then you get to laugh at him. But looks like a single mounted samurai didn't get the memo about heading back. You know what? I think we're going to call them the Dragons. It's going to be like sports. I think that's definitely the way that we do it. We got the Dragons up against the Japanese right here. Yeah, it sounds good, but it also makes the Japanese sound a little bit more, a little bit bolder, like they're fighting up against mythological creatures. Not to say that dragons are mythological. You know, they're real. It's been documented. You guys have seen the proof. It's up there with the UF. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. Earth is not flat. All right, let's check in on the south side, see how Lucifron's doing. Upgrades are really starting to come through. We see veterans he picked up for his spearmen. He's got Fudosashi, the last of the wheelbarrow upgrades. So that's a level 3 wheelbarrow that he's picking up. Second TC on the front, now getting its Daimyo Manor treatment. Let's check in. Daimyo Palace has been upgraded back at home. So he's got, that's 11 farms that are sitting underneath the TC at the moment. So not a huge transition of farms just yet. Something I'd definitely like to see improved. And you can see from the income at the moment, it would make a lot of sense to be heading more in that direction. So we'll have to see how he goes. Well, obviously, we just saw him drop down farms, Drongo, you idiot. But I will just say, this is not optimal. Ideally, for these farms, we would have them around the town center. Because now we've got a big issue. And that is that we've got a 50% gather rate for farms, and we have built our farms outside of that radius. Now, we could build a town center over here and we could upgrade it, but you guys see the problem with that. So my suggestion would be, even though it's forward, throw the farms down over here. Maybe even throw them down over here. Once you've run out of space, then by all means go for it, but we're going to talk about that later, because we got spears on the front, Gilded Knights on the top side. Looks like a couple of spearmen out here is running a nice little screen with a mounted samurai. He's got to be careful about engaging into those spearmen, and the Gilded Lance Connector in here is looking to swing to win. All the ranged units now going to sit on the back. You might need to start kiting, because these units are starting to look scary. The upgrades have come through. It looks like Whistling Arrow is going to be there for him. But actually, no, I do take that back. That's going to be the Bannerman that's providing that assistance right there, the glow. And now the kiting is going to continue. He heads away from the enemy base, running towards his own reinforcements. Needs to run these spears towards the front. You can see he's grouping them all together. He needs those spears to turn around. Get up here, boys. And now they do. Oh, he's still running them all together. Get up there, spears. And now just, unfortunately, that tail of him getting destroyed. But you can see just how much the Yumi Ashigaru are struggling taking out the Spearmen. The Spearmen have got so much damn health for this civilization that you really need a decent number to be able to take them out. But now the Onimusha, out of everything, still stand the strongest, the tallest. Look how big that horseman is coming in, riding on his gallant steed. Now that one single knight as well, remaining, looking to just burn through everything that it possibly can. You can see the focus fire coming in really well here. And a beautiful hold there from Lucifron, but at the same time, a great offensive position from Vortex. Maybe a little bit of an overextension, but overall, you'd have to say that was a damn well even battle after that one. Scores at the moment about 300 in favor of our Dragons player. Yep, I'm sticking with it. I don't know. Is there anything better? There's probably something better that we could do. Order, play. Nah, order doesn't work. Menu, no, doesn't work either. Tab, no, doesn't work. Order of the Dragons. We're just going with the Dragons. All right, single Katana Benaman didn't get put in the control group. Unfortunately, sacrifices himself for the greater good. Didn't get too much done, but hey, he's making it work. And now that push really coming forward. A lot of confidence here from Lucifron to be pushing into this right now, considering he just got knocked out, but maybe he senses that his opponent is on the ropes at this stage. Running this melee composition, it's only going to be a matter of time until you start to whittle them down slowly and steadily with that micro. And we can see once again coming through, he's going to look to try and kite these units back. We'll bring off that UI as it's 57 up against 50. And you can see at the moment, it looks like the Japanese player is going to be coming out on top. Slowly but steadily, the melee numbers continue to fall. And now it looks like it's going to be archers added into the mix for the Dragons here. Kind of wild to see that this civilization does actually have to go for ranged units. They can't just be like their Holy Roman Empire variant and just make only melee units. But one other thing to note is there's no men-at-arms at all in this combo. It's just spears, horsemen, a couple of prelates on the back, and that's it. Now the archer numbers are really starting to build, though. I think it might be that Vortex has realized, what if I just play archers and look for the upgraded armor? One of the things to note about this Holy Roman Empire variant is that it does have very strong ranged units. Both the archer and the crossbowman are incredible units, and you can see right now he's actually doing a solid job on defending. The only problem is he's outnumbered by a significant amount here, so he's going to have to make sure that these horsemen count, and indeed, he's doing a decent job, and immediately we see the response coming through. It's going to be the mounted samurai looking to try and clean up these ranged units. It is action-packed in this mid-game right now. These economies have come online, and they said, all right, let me at him. Unfortunately, the numbers continue to dwindle here, but what impresses me the most is that it feels like the Dragons just don't ever seem to be giving up. Like, the numbers here, well, I guess that's obviously the civilization, right? Like, they're a civilization that has more powerful units than what they look. You look at this and you feel like, oh, there's not a lot of units. But the reality is these are strong units. These are double the HP or double the damage of their counterparts for other civilizations. So we look at this and think, oh, it's not a lot, but they're holding their own. They're holding their own. He's going to have to fall back here, though. You can see him struggling on this front. Numbers are still slowly building, but the archers are doing well. I'm suspecting he's picked up a lot of his upgrade. Let's take a look and have a look. What kind of upgrades has he got in? All right, still yet to pick up that dragon leather. I think it's dragon leather. Let's double check and see from Vortex's perspective. Yeah, it is the dragon scale leather, which would be absolutely amazing here. Can I just comment on how amazing this upgrade would be here? You're up against the Yumi Ashigaru, which has got lower damage than the standard archer. So mitigating any damage that it does is going to be more significant than if you're playing against an archer civ. Like, I was going to say the Chinese, but they've got the Zhugennu. Like the Holy Roman Empire, as an example. Or the French. Their archers do oh gosh, we got Imperial already coming through. It's going to be the Tanegashima Gunsmith. But yeah, anyway, the point still stands. You want to try and prioritize that upgrade, especially when you're fighting up against the Japanese, just simply because it means that you're taking a significantly less portion of the damage. So you can see right here, the Yumi Ashigaru has 8 damage, and at the moment you're mitigating 2, which is 25%. But if you were to throw in that gilded or that dragon scale leather upgrade, that takes you from 2 up to 5. And now all of a sudden you're mitigating what, 62.5% of the damage? It's a pretty big jump. All right, let's check in and see how that age up is coming now. It's going to be Lucifron with the Tanegashima Gunsmith. Imperial age is through, so the elite upgrades are in, and immediately we see the Ozutsu join the battle. The meme is alive and well. Look at those beautiful haircuts. I just, you know, if I still have that patch of my hair when I'm 36, you know I'm going to become an Ozutsu. That is just that. That is impressive. It could be helmets, but I feel like at this stage, people still hadn't learned that the noggin wasn't particularly good at surviving brute force. Needs a bit of assistance with the assistance of those helmets. But we got ourselves another push beginning to come through. You can hear the Azutso firing off once again. Where is he? He's on the back line. There they go. Firing into every single bit of it. Elite upgrade still yet to come through. Wait and see whether he's got them. But now it's just a clash of archers, a couple of samurai in the back line. Ozutsu firing off once again and now able to pick off those enemy units. Still don't see the elite upgrades. Do we still not have them in? Oh no, they just arrived. They just arrived. The bows have been upgraded. He's got a brand new headset now. He's trying his best to pick off these enemy units before the numbers really start to build, but unfortunately, the timing attack may have just come a little bit too late here, and it means that once these upgrades have arrived, you're going to have high-value trades in this fight. And now look at the Japanese defense. This is the dream Japanese game here. This is what I love about this civilization. The win condition is so straightforward for this civilization. You go to 2 town centers, make a lot of farms, I'll see you in Imperial. That's it. And it feels so good when you do it, because once you get to Imperial, nothing can stop you. And now look at the number of Yumi, or rather the Yumi Bannerman he's got out here. It's huge. What is that spear from the spearman? Look at the size of that thing. That's the guy she tells you not to worry about. Look at that. I feel like he's half farmer, half trying to crucify Jesus right now. What is that thing? Look at the, oh my Lord. He's massive. All right. Let's get down to business. What is this upgrade and why does it make me so long? I think it's this one. Oh, I remember. It's the one that gives spearmen extra range. They get extra range in their attacks. I think that's it. They've got a Nage Yari, a 1.25 tile range, and that's... Is that an Elsbach? Is he going? It's the last hope. Elsbach Palace, you're our only hope. He's rushing it up, trying his best to stay alive and do the 5. The villagers jump inside. Unfortunately, that means he's going to be without his... Oh my God, I love that sound. He's going to be without his Swabia, but just quickly checking the UI, he's at 97 villagers already. I think you can probably forego the Swabia at this stage of the game. You know, Swabia is great when you're 11 minutes through and you're at 36 villagers and you say, brr, it's time to print vills. Whereas here, you've already done your printing for the game. You're not too... Oh my God, those Ozutsu are amazing, dude. Gosh, I love this unit. It is such a silly unit, but it's so damn good. Hopefully we see a hand cannon here as well. I just want to click on the hand cannon here. Every single game I get the opportunity to do that, I will do that. And now pushing through the last stand. The Elsbach Palace trying its best to stop the invading Japanese force. The town center going to provide a little bit of cover fire. Doesn't look like he's got any emplacements through just yet. And the Elsbach Palace still stands strong, continuing to kite back. It looks like we've got elite upgrades coming through for the gilded archers on the back, but the number of archers underneath the town center is significant. As long as he's able to one-shot these enemy... Oh, please tell me he's got the gilded leather armor. Oh my God, the dragon scale leather is still not in. What is wrong with this guy? Somebody tell him about the dragon scale armor. It could make all the difference in these fights. 3 armor extra for each one of these archers and each one of the shots. It could have turned the tides in this battle. And now the game gets called. Oh, an absolutely huge mistake coming out there from Vortex. I can't believe it. But at the end of the day, the Elsbach, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Fellas, make sure you check out these two brothers. I'll leave a link in the description where you can watch them live, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.